Remember how long summer used to feel when you were 8 years old? Those months stretched out like an ocean, endless afternoons, whole lifetimes between June and September. Now an entire year slips past you like a weekend. You blink in January and suddenly it's December. But here's the strange part. The clock hasn't changed. Time itself is moving at exactly the same speed it always has. The real answer is far stranger. Your brain is the thing that's changing. And once you understand how, you'll never trust your sense of time again. Start with a simple question. Why did childhood feel so long? One of the first people to take this seriously was a French philosopher named Paul Janet back in the 1800s. His idea was almost embarrassingly simple. Each year of your life is a smaller fraction of everything you've lived. When you're 5, 1 year is 20% of your entire existence. When you're 50, it's 2%, the same 12 months, a completely different weight. Your brain doesn't measure time in minutes. It measures time in proportion to your whole life. So every year that passes literally shrinks compared to the growing pile of years behind it. But proportion is only half the story. The other half is memory. Think about the last time you drove somewhere new. The trip there felt long. The trip home felt short. Same road, same distance, same traffic. Why? Psychologists call this the return trip effect, and it points at something deep in how your brain records experience. Novelty gets written down in detail. Familiarity gets compressed. When everything is new, your brain takes dense, rich notes. When everything is routine, it barely takes notes at all. Now zoom out to your whole life. When you were a child, almost everything was new. First day of school, first bike ride, first betrayal by a friend. First time you realized adults don't actually know everything. Your brain was recording constantly in high resolution because it had never seen any of this before. But as an adult, you wake up in the same bed, drive the same route, eat the same lunch, talk to the same people. Your brain looks at all of it and says, "Seen it, skip it." It compresses whole weeks into a single mental file labeled the usual. And here's where it gets counterintuitive. Time doesn't feel fast while it's happening. It feels fast when you look back. The neuroscientist David Eagleman ran one of the most extreme experiments ever done on the time perception. He dropped volunteers from a 15-story tower into a safety net in pure free fall and asked them to estimate how long the fall lasted. Almost everyone overestimated it. The terror didn't slow time down in the moment, but fear flooded their brains with dense memories, and when they looked back, that packed recording felt longer. More memory equals more perceived time. That's the trick. Your sense of duration is not a stopwatch. It's a measurement of how much your brain bothered to save. The BBC psychologist Claudia Hammond calls this the holiday paradox. A vacation flies by while you're living it because you're having too much fun to watch the clock. But afterward, it feels enormous in your memory because everything was new and your brain saved all of it. Meanwhile, a boring month at work crawls by hour after hour, then vanishes from memory almost completely. Ask yourself, what did you do in March 3 years ago? Exactly. Your brain didn't keep it. There's also something physical happening inside your head. In 2019, a Duke University professor named Adrian Bajan proposed that the aging brain literally processes fewer mental images per second. As you get older, your neural networks grow larger and more complex, and signals take longer to travel across them. Fewer snapshots per hour. And when your brain captures less, the world seems to move more. It's like a camera dropping its frame rate. The film of your life keeps playing at the same speed, but you're recording fewer frames of it. So childhood summers weren't actually longer. They were denser, packed with first times, recorded in full resolution, by a fast young brain measuring each day against a tiny lifetime. Adulthood isn't shorter, it's compressed, filed away in bulk because your brain decided most of it wasn't worth saving twice. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If time speeds up because life becomes routine, are you accidentally fast-forwarding your own existence? Think about what routine really is. It's efficiency. Your brain evolved to automate anything repeated because your ancestors couldn't afford to burn energy relearning the walk to the river every morning. Automation kept them alive. But there's a cost. Whatever your brain automates, it stops recording. And whatever it stops recording effectively disappears from your life. Not from the calendar. From you. A year you don't remember is a year you barely lived. Now for the good news. If perceived time is made of memory, you can manufacture more of it. The recipe is almost stupidly simple. Do new things. Take a different street home. Learn a skill that makes you feel clumsy again. Travel somewhere that confuses you. Talk to a stranger. Cook something you can't pronounce. Every genuine first time forces your brain out of autopilot and back into high-resolution recording mode. Researchers who study this consistently find the same thing. Novelty stretches remembered time. People who fill a month with unfamiliar experiences look back on it and swear it lasted twice as long. Notice what this means. The people who say life is short and the people who say life is full are often describing the same number of years. The difference is density. William James, the father of American psychology, saw this all the way back in 1890. He wrote that the years smooth themselves out as we age because experience gets emptier, and that the way to lengthen a life is to fill it with new impressions. He had no brain scanners, no experiments with falling volunteers, just the observation that a monotonous life collapses in memory and a curious one expands. So the next time a year evaporates on you, don't blame the clock. The clock is innocent. Ask instead, how much did I give my brain to record? Because you can't slow time down, nobody can. But you can decide how much of it your brain keeps. You can trade a little comfort for a little confusion, a little routine for a little risk, and buy back the fullness that childhood gave you for free. Remember how long summer used to feel when you were 8 years old? It wasn't the summer. It was you, a brain meeting the world for the first time, saving everything. That brain is still in your head. It's just waiting for you to show it something new.